ever.
So Bob, you have a quorum.
Sure. All right. Fran, would you like to call it to order?
Yes, the meeting is called to order at 8:04.
All right, I need to. All right, as been a while since we've had minutes to read. Has everybody had a chance to look at the minutes?
Yes. Yes.
If we could get a motion to approve the last minutes.
I'll approve.
Okay, second.
Christy will.
I
Okay,
can second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
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 Anybody opposed? Okay, the minutes are approved. All right, I didn't see anybody, any kind of visitors. Mara, did you? Okay.
Visitors.
Why don't we go right into the agenda and streetscape? Well, first let's introduce Eric.
Oh, I forgot. Eric, we haven't had Crossroads since you've been here.
Yeah.
So I'm Eric Peterson. I'm the Assistant City Manager. I'm glad to be with you today. I am actually putting this is an inside joke, but I'll bring you all in. I'm putting the last sentence on an internal memo I was sending over to Mara to look at to send out to you all. But we have looked at staff roles and workload. And Mara Perry is such a rock star that she seems to do everything for the city, which is a point of concern that we don't need Mara to overwork herself with everything. So I bring some experience in my past, and I'm happy to talk about my background if you all want to know, working in economic development and with downtown associations and business districts and such. And so starting this month, I will be moving in as your staff liaison for all three business districts and the Business Development Commission. Mara and all the rest of us at City Hall who are subject matter experts will still be available and can answer questions and such. She's not going anywhere. She'll be able to answer those questions, but helping out to organize things and keep your programs moving forward, that'll be my role. And Fran will be with us as well. So it's really just moving me in to take over organizational matters and let Mara do her job in planning and development. So happy to answer any other questions if you have, and I'll let you have your meeting.
Thank you. Welcome to the group.
Thank you.
Yep, welcome, welcome.
So folks, I talked to Eric last week and brought him up to date or gave him some information. I know I could tell Mara had spoken with him too about Crossroads and the streetscape project. Yeah, because I could tell because Eric didn't come to the meeting without information. And I guess first, why don't we? I think it's come out email, Mara, but let's tell the group about what the council did with budget.
So it's approved. You were approved for the full amount. In addition, there's sort of 2 years. The second year does include the streetlights, which I know Chris isn't on right now, but Chris was really, really, really wanting those streetlights in, as well as everybody else. But so the money is in for the project. I then, as soon as we knew that the money had been approved, I sent back to county hey, the council has money in their budget for this project. Please review the latest and greatest with the information that we had. If you'll remember, county had given us a final list of, hey, we're okay with these things, but here's the last items we want you to address or maybe change. We had Cochrane draw something up, and then we were holding off to ensure we had the funding before we went back to county with the full project. So it was sent back over to them. They had said that they would look at it and get back with us. Obviously, it's county, it's taken a while. They have not gotten back with us yet, but I'm keeping Eric in the loop with all of that, and he'll be able to probably, say, hey, I'm new, come talk to me right now. But anyway, it's with them. They knew that we have the funding and we want to move forward immediately.
Mara, do you have at your fingertips what we submitted? Do you have that?
I
can do,
believe I should. Hold
a
on.
few minutes. If you need a few minutes, I think it'd be a good idea. Everybody saw it again.
Yeah, if everyone wants to chat a little bit, I will pull it
Okay.
up.
Sounds good.
If there's any questions you want to ask while I'm looking for it. Oh, I forgot. Eric, I gave you all the digital files.
Are we looking for the budget submission? Is that what we were looking?
Yeah, so in the Crossroads folder, there's a couple different streetscape folders because we did the TEEP and then later we did the STP. There should be one with a PDF of the streetscape,
Okay.
which was the latest and greatest. You know what? I might be able to, hold on, I might be able to pull it out of an email too.
You talk about the one that was in the minutes at one point?
It might have been in the minutes at one point. I'm trying to remember if it would be in the.
Was the STP the most recent version or the TEEP?
The STP. Oh, wait a minute. I have it.
Okay.
Okay. It was in my email. I sent email. So you all should be able to see. Hold on, I'm going to try to format it on the screen so it's best seen. Okay, can everybody see that?
Yes.
So just as a reminder, using the notes from county, we had pulled together and they had redrawn and tried to tweak some of the concerns that county had in regards to some of the turning movements onto Baker and Gore, ensuring and looking at where we might not be able to get additional parking due to the striping, changing and updating the turn on Alma. They wanted it more to be a perpendicular versus coming in at an angle. So we did a little bit more a bump out. And then you can see our various bump outs. They did expand a little bit the area that I know county still wasn't completely happy with, which was our bump out at Elm. In addition, and Eric might have some more information on this, I know that the mayor met with county. Eric, were you in that one?
No, but the mayor and Councilwoman Arnold had met with county this past month, and I did chat with both of them. And they wanted me to report to you that it was a positive meeting. That county came. They talked about some of the challenges with the bump out on Elm that we have talked about here that they have, but also a commitment to go back, pull out some other option ideas, and to look at what we could incorporate into this. So the mayor and councilwoman, they had that meeting. It was done probably to what the chair has mentioned a few times, to get the county back to the table and really try to politically, have that kind of conversation. And so they both felt that it was a positive outcome, and that obviously we need the county to live up to their end of the bargain here on the coming back with options, but that they were relatively pleased. They were pleased and also felt that the county would be coming back with options to resolve this, and so we could move forward.
Any questions for either Eric or Mara while you're all looking at this and listening?
The little yellow orange things, are those the ramps?
Yes, so ADA accessibility, the orange is
Those are all ramps.
all the ramps. The yellow is the new sidewalk.
Right.
Eric, do you know who Jerry and Councilwoman Arnold met with?
Yes, I'm gonna screw up the name, but and Mara will probably jump in. It is the main John, is it John, I think, Mara, from the county?
Oh,
Maybe you know, no, I know who it is. I cannot remember the name, but I will find it and get it out to you all.
so Jim Knoll and Glenn Henninger are the two that I've been corresponding with.
Jim Knoll was one of them. So he was in the meeting, so involved in this. Thank you.
And Chris, I see you're on now. Just FYI, the streetlight money was also put in the budget.
Sorry about being late. I overslept.
You're fine.
So Chris, just a real quick update on the status. Mayor Welch and Councilwoman Arnold met with Jim Knoll and another St. Louis County official about the streetscape. And Eric is our new liaison, Eric Peterson. You'll see him on your screen. He talked with both mayor and the councilwoman and got they said it was a very good meeting, and they're looking at it. It sounds like we're going to get some ideas back from them still. And since our last meeting, there certainly has been some collaboration.
And Bob, are you talking about more collaboration on the Baker, Gore, Big Bend corner, or just in general along the whole runway?
That was not specific. Eric, is there, do you have more definitiveness on that, or was it the entire area, or what?
They talked the whole area. I think that and the county's bigger, the option issues are back at Elm. From what I understand, has really been the county's look at things, is that intersection and such. So,
okay, thank you.
The Elm one was what we were more concerned about because they weren't letting us do anything. And the Baker one is a lot more us because there are roadways when it comes to what we could do on Gore and Baker. Little different situation.
Makes complete sense. Thank you. If all this gets approved, when would this start, really?
that's a great question. Mara, I don't have a firm timeline. It's building in all of that. So
Yeah, I don't have a firm timeline, but the funding is in this budget year, and this budget year started July 1. So because we had put it in such a way where we're not having to wait for, for example, the Old Orchard Streetscape. You guys know that Old Orchard Streetscape got their funding before you guys even did try the last 2 or 3 budget cycles. They still haven't started construction, like the full construction. They've gotten the utilities have all been moved. The water line has been moved. Everything's been done. And now because of delays in construction materials, the streetlights have not been able to arrive yet. So they can't start the project until the streetlights arrive. So they were supposed to be starting construction in the spring. And it's probably not going to be until fall or early fall. In your case, because of the fact that it's just city funding, we don't have to get special approvals from the state of Missouri and follow some of those things for federal funds. It can happen much quicker and should happen in this budget year.
Wow, we actually could start construction this fiscal year.
Yes, we should be able to. If we could just get through county, again, finalizing, getting those details together. But yes, it's in this budget year and is budgeted in this budget year. And this budget year runs from July 1 to June 30.
Thank you.
Mara, on the drawing, I'm looking at it again. Baker would become a one-way route, correct? Heading to the west.
In this drawing, they did not do Baker as a one-way. They still kept it as a two-way. But the way that they're bumping it a little bit was to ensure that people, as they're going westbound, and they're coming along here, that instead of, sometimes where people were making that straight shot through, it's making them actually come around the corner and make a left-hand turn, so that you're a little bit more, again, the different configurations allow for safer turning movements.
I can see that.
And we had talked about the possibility of still doing one way, but at this point we did not have consensus on it, and we wanted to have everything move forward. It can still go to one way with this configuration. It would actually make it safer, but this way still allows it to remain as two way should we not want to change it.
This is Cochran's drawing, correct?
This is Cochran's drawing, correct?
By lack of consensus, how did that happen? That I asked the question. I thought for sure this was one way.
No, we had never finalized the one way. We had started doing some public meetings with the neighbors. We had talked about doing some temporary testing out the one way by putting some barricades up, more permanent barricades, and then COVID hit. So we had not, we'd done some traffic counts. And I think I'll remind you, a little while ago, I reminded you that we did do traffic counts to see what the numbers were. Public Works right now can't pull the there's a problem with the software, and they can't pull those old traffic counts out right now. But we should soon be able to pull those old traffic count numbers out. But we had not yet done that test run to see how that would work. Again, that does not hold up anything that's happening with county on the rest of the project. We could still change it to one way. There's still other things we can still do. It's not going to hurt or harm or make any changes necessarily. It's been set up that it could work as a one way, or it can continue to work as a two way.
Anybody want to weigh in on that?
I know the neighbors were really upset that we were even considering turning it into a one way, and then we had to kind of explain, so. I think
Well,
we're
there were neighbors on Kenilworth that were upset about it. That's the street to the north.
The Baker neighbors were upset too.
There were also several Baker neighbors that, like, you can't get this done fast enough. We need the safety.
I don't recall that.
I don't recall that either.
Oh, okay.
I do have a question about the bump outs on the south side of the street. It looks like we got 1, 2, 3, 4 bump outs. And where we were hoping that this was going to add parking, it actually looked like it's going to take away quite a bit of parking. Am I imagining that, or did I get confused?
So the parking will become permanent, so that there's not you don't park on this side of the street during this time frame.
Okay.
So you will no longer have those time frames where the north side you don't park or the south side you don't park due to time of
Day. Okay.
day.
Yeah.
So
okay.
those will now all be all day availability.
Okay. All right.
Bob, on that Baker issue being one way, I thought the Baker residents were objecting to when we were potentially putting parking on Baker, not necessarily the one way. And
That's right, Heidi. It was going to become a dead end at that point, and that's where all the objections came from.
And the Kenilworth residents were objecting to the one way because it routed traffic onto their street. Is that correct?
That's what they thought, and the traffic studies did not bear that out.
Okay.
Well, we didn't do a traffic study to say that it was not going to go in that direction. We didn't do a full traffic study. I just want to be clear. We simply did traffic counts, but we didn't do traffic counts with a test run of making it one way. We talked about possibly doing a test run on that.
And so what is involved with the test run then, Mara?
It would be talking with Public Works, which I know we talked with Todd early on about it. They had talked about the possibilities of, there are some places where you can borrow or get concrete barricades that you can put up and create a test for a certain, period of time to see what the traffic counts become when you change the configuration.
Gotcha.
Looks like the big yellow truck wouldn't be able to park in front of his building.
I'm sorry, that was, yeah, you're right. He's not gonna be happy. He will not be happy. So, but you know what? I gotta tell you, after our last meeting, when he came in for the parking, he was on it and it really has not been a problem. So I'm sure he can adapt.
Excellent. Good for you guys. Oh, I see in the picture, the white truck is blocking the.
Yeah. How do I make this bigger?
Right here.
Oh, right there. Oh, wow.
Right there.
Yeah. He's gotten better.
Good.
You want me to stop sharing this, or do you still need to look at it?
I think I'm
I'm
good.
good.
I think
I'm
it's
good too.
Mhm.
All right, well, let's move into new business. Anything to report?
Parking's great. So. That's it.
Yep, no parking issues. I think everything went fine on the 4th of July.
Let me say that 4th of July, the east side of the parking lot.
You kind of broke up there. I didn't hear all of that.
The lights on at the 4th of July did not turn off in the city parking lot.
Oh, behind my building?
Correct.
Oh, I usually turn those off because I'm there, but I couldn't be there because of an emergency. So that's probably why they didn't turn off.
Well, okay. I apologize to everyone because I had told everybody they'd be off.
Yeah, there's a box right on the building for the Center for Creative Change that you just walk over and turn them off.
Oh, goodness. All right.
You'll know for next year.
Yep.
Laura, is there proposed zoning changes in our district?
There is a proposed zoning change, and it's not necessarily, I mean, it's in your district, but it's not necessarily when I say in your district. So we have before the city council a change to the C and D commercial districts, which you are C primarily. You have some PC planned commercial. And what it is simply doing is it is allowing in the C that if someone should wish to, build a new multifamily building, that if they meet the setbacks, the height, the parking requirements, all the buffers, if they can meet everything, it would be a permitted use instead of being in the D district right now, it's a conditional use permit. And in the C district, it's just not allowed at all. You actually have to rezone to a PC planned commercial to get multifamily. And so what we are trying to do is to encourage the possibility that for 2-story structures, that you could have apartment units above commercial, or for properties, for some properties where the property is deep enough that you could potentially get, units towards the back, commercial towards the front, or that it's a property that's not adjacent to your commercial street, that you could have multifamily close by in adjacent proximity. Other areas of C, if you go down Big Bend to Old Orchard, you'll notice that there are quite a few apartment buildings down along there. Some face the railroad tracks. Those were done before the code changed. And so we're trying to integrate that into sort of what we have and what we're seeing today. So it would just give the possibility that if they meet everything, they could go in as a permitted use. If they don't want to meet those, if they want to try to get taller or build more units or not meet the setbacks or any of those things, they will have to go through the full rezoning still. And you probably wouldn't remember, I mentioned it briefly that we were bringing that forward the last time we met, but we haven't met in like 2 or 3 months. Do you want me to keep going with full city update?
Sure.
Okay. So again, since we haven't met in a while, some people were on earlier and heard a little bit, but Union Bagel is still under construction. I know it seems like they're going slow, but I'm hearing lots of construction is going quite slow. La Macarena is finally opened. Someone else said that DD Mao has opened. I knew they were close, but hadn't seen that they had opened yet. Wingstop is still under construction in Yorkshire Plaza, as well as Zushi. The Total Access Urgent Care on Big Bend is under construction. Amy's Cake Pop Shop has opened. We have construction still ongoing at the new fire station on Elm. We have construction going on at Hickson Middle School. They're finishing up that pretty big section that's going to become the 8th grade portion of the school, and the 6th and 7th graders will be where 7th and 8th used to be. There's going to be a whole new entrance that faces Elm, and so that's going to be quite exciting. But what it will mean is a lot more pedestrian school traffic going down towards the school. In addition, the rest of the schools have construction going on for ADA accessibility and for safety. So you'll see that happening a little bit at each of the other schools. We have been working on a number of text code amendments. So Bob had asked about the multifamily code that we were working on. In addition, the city council had passed a code amendment that allowed for 2-family structures with less restrictions to allow them to be constructed in our A4 zoning district. For those that have been following the Webster Kirkwood Times and some of the news that's been going on, after it was passed by the council, a referendum came forward. The council voted to keep the ordinance in place and not overturn it, which means that it is now going on to the August election for a vote. Should the residents vote a vote of no, that will allow the ordinance to stay in place that has been passed to allow for additional potential 2-family structures within the A4 zoning district. If it is a vote of yes, it will overturn it and remove that code section. If anyone has any particular questions about the code amendment and what we did, or know of residents who have questions, the website has videos with discussion. I know that there's been some live Facebook discussions on it. There are questions and answers. So when someone submits a question, we provide the answer, and we've been putting it on the website. So if someone wants to read through those before they ask a question, we might have answered it already. But there's a lot of information on there, and I'm happy to answer questions on that. We also did some code changes that were approved for. Oh, sorry, Allison. Did you have a question?
To know, as having mom, I had a question. Mom's house in the historic district, the Jackson Road seemed to be line or anything, but the first pictures I saw, it looked like the house at 15 East Jackson was in a place, and I was surprised since it was on the historic district and she couldn't make any changes to the front and all that kind of stuff.
So I always want to remind people, just because you're in a
How's-
historic district doesn't mean you can't make changes. You definitely can make changes, do additions. You just have to go through the process with Architecture Review Board. In addition, anything in the historic
Right.
district, even though it may be eligible, so the lot has to meet minimum width, minimum square footage. You have to be able to meet the parking requirements and meet all the setbacks in order to do a two-family structure. Also, the square footage is capped out at the same size as what a one-family structure would have been. So there's still, the overall character remains similar. Now, in a historic district, in order to tear down in a historic district, you do have to go through a full certificate of appropriateness process. So it is very unlikely that someone is going to go through that process, get permission to demolish it, and then build a two-family. So even though it might be eligible, there are all these other factors that might lead to certain areas not being, not actually happening. I usually give this number, and this is kind of a rough number, but so say last year we had about 20 new houses that were built. Out of those 20, about 10 of them weren't even in the proper, zoning district or even would meet the lot size requirements. So let's take 50% of those out. Then of the next 10 that we had, we might have had one that had a floodplain or had an easement through it that made it difficult to be able to meet the parking requirement. And then out of those 10, we also probably had at least maybe 3 or 4 where it was someone building a house for themselves and they wanted a single family home versus a developer. So out of those 20 houses, you might have only had the possibility last year of 2 in the entire city going to a two-family structure in that year. And I also gave the example for a few people when we made the changes for the short-term rentals for Airbnb. There was a question at the council level and they kept saying, why are you approving, why don't you put a limitation on how many of them can be within a certain neighborhood? And I said, well, right now we don't know what that impact's going to be. Let's see what happens. And even without putting restrictions on how many could be on a certain block or within a certain radius or neighborhood, we've only gotten 5. We have 5 short-term rentals in the entire city. So thinking about that and knowing the time frame and knowing all the process they have to go through, if we get to 2 or 3 two-family structures in the next year or 2, should this still remain in place, I would be kind of surprised. We don't get a huge, we get about 20 to 25 new houses a year, and that's in a record year. I don't know if that helped answer your questions, Allison.
Well, so the city's recommendation is to vote no.
We can't recommend one way or the other. We can educate you on the facts, and we can give you the language on what it means to vote no and what it means to vote yes.
And Allison, if I can just add to that, if you agree with what the council passed, the intent of it, you would vote no. If you don't agree, then you would vote yes to reject the ordinance.
Was it written kind of backwards like that for a reason?
Well, and it's a very quick explanation. So our city charter has specifics on, if someone does the petition to go to referendum, what the question would look like. And the ballot actually would have been to vote in favor of the resolution or to vote opposed to the resolution. That's what our charter says. But state law requires referendums to be put into a yes/no question. And so the Board of Elections changed the question from the time the council acted to when it went to the ballot to the version that we have, which is shall the ordinance be rejected? So that's where the flip came on how it was worded.
Not intentionally misleading, just happens that way.
Yeah.
Thank you.
I'm not sure if I have much else. There's for those, just to let you know, there's been some changes with our physical layout in City Hall. So the Public Works Department has moved to the Public Works facility on Waymire. And my department on Friday moved all my staff and myself from the planning department portion on the west side of the building. And now we're in the public works offices on the east side of the building. I also in the budget was able to hire a new building inspector, which is going to really help us to keep up with all the construction that's going on. And I also have in the budget to hire a new admin staff member, which hopefully should really help with everything that we've got going on. So my department will go from 9 to 11. We're the smallest department in the city, but this will really, really help us, I think, get a number of things done. I think, Eric, I'm trying to remember if anything else, or Sarah, anything else I'm forgetting from the council.
Yeah, just one quick thing I will add, and so that Councilmember Richardson doesn't feel awkward about it. We need TIF commission members for Douglas Hill. So a TIF commission is the commission that governs if there is any public investment in tax increment financing, makes recommendations to the council. The council has to make those appointments. And so this is another body just like yours that meets for a specific purpose, really through the remainder of this calendar year is the heavy part of their work. Heavy meaning probably monthly meeting, and then obviously reading and being prepared for the meetings. The only reason I say that is I want to be about the council, and I want to be very clear, the TIF commission does not make final decisions. That is the council's job, but this is meant to be recommendations. Just as the plan commission acts on the planning and proper and land use pieces of it, we are looking at the TIF commission to look at the financing and such. And so I will make sure to send the link to Fran to send out to all the groups, because this is an important function for the city that we will be recruiting members for. And again, the council makes that appointment in the August timeframe. So.
And I did forget to give an update about Douglas Hill. I can't believe I forgot to give an update on that. So we went to our second continued public hearing on, was it just Monday night?
Yes.
On Monday night before the Plan Commission. They have continued the hearing to the August meeting. We did the applicants did a full presentation. So for the June meeting, staff made a presentation about the process, how the process worked, what we would be reviewing, and what the Plan Commission would be making decisions on. And then we took public comment, and the public comment lasted, I think, just over 2 to 2.5 hours. Then at the July meeting, we focused on the applicant made a presentation and answered a number of questions that the Plan Commission had. And then we ended with a very short presentation on staff's initial analysis of their application. For the August meeting, we're going to focus on the approval of, or the moving forward with more detail on our analysis and a recommendation of what could be in the ordinance to govern the development of that area for the Plan Commission to potentially move forward. They are holding off, and we were taking additional public comment at the August meeting. In addition, we had a CUP that we passed, because it's been a couple months since we met you. The council passed a CUP for a musical arts school in the Presbyterian Church in Old Webster. We also had a CUP come in for a daycare up on Marshall. That was held over to the next Plan Commission meeting. At the next Plan Commission meeting, in addition to Douglas Hill, the daycare center is being continued, and there is a used car lot on Watson that has some limitations in their CUP that they want removed to be able to do some additional repair work to cars. So that'll also be on for the next Plan Commission meeting. I think that's everything.
Was there, really quick, was there any update for Lona's? Did they pull out?
Lona's pulled out. They had some family matters going on that just caused some issues. Now, I've not had anything new come in for that particular property. But I've been talking with a few people about the property on the other side of the street, the larger piece, and it might integrate the other piece. And on top of it, just know a lot of people are waiting with bated breath on what's happening with this code amendment that would allow the multifamily, because I think there's a lot of developers that are thinking that putting first floor commercial in with apartments above is a really great idea. And so they are all, I have 3 or 4 different ones that are all watching our meetings for that one.
Thank you.
Mhm. I'm bummed about Lonas.
Yeah.
Oh, a new comic book store is opening around the corner from Cyrano's in Old Orchard. I know I'm missing something else. We've been getting a lot of new businesses in.
Wow, that's different. That's kind of fun.
Mhm. Comic book and manga.
What's manja?
It is more of,
My son is a fan. I can help if you want.
thank
Okay,
you.
yeah, what is it?
It's manga and it's
Thank you.
it's Japanese comics essentially. Like it's yeah, they're just really popular. They're serialized. Like it's, you know, there's shows out of some of them. Some of them are based on shows. That's the anime that you.
So it's not anime? It's different from anime, or it's just a different type of anime?
Anime is TV, manga is comic book. That's
Oh, okay. All right. Okay, thank you.
I've learned something today.
Yeah, okay.
All I know is my husband reads the comic books and he doesn't read the manga.
Okay.
Yeah, my son gets mad when we call them comic books, you know, the manga. So yes, but he'll be excited to hear that.
Yes,
Oh,
And- she's super excited about it.
Eurotrash.
Oh, thank you. Thank you, Fran. We also have an interior design firm going in where the, next to Dewey's, where the cleaners used to be. And if you drive by, the facade looks really cool. They have uncovered the old sign, the Busy Bee sign, and they've got new awnings going up, and they've painted, it used to be that crazy teal blue, the building's black.
What's the business?
Eurotrash. It's an interior design firm. Yes.
Okay.
Thank you, Fran. I feel like I'm missing something else. We've had so many new businesses. And if anyone has any other questions about anything they've seen running around, I'm looking at my business license list really quick.
So Mara, while you're looking, if I can, we have a community days debrief, the 4th of July, and specific to the parade, just if any of you have, this is really with, you know, all of our departments and the Lions and the Masons, but if any of you have a parade concern that happened down in the business district, please just shoot me a message so that we can look at, you know, whatever we need to do for next year and such. So that's part of our after action meeting there. So just let me know if you have any of those issues. And you'll be getting my email from Fran later today. So Fran's got lots of emails to send on my behalf.
And Eric, you're only referencing like the traffic or anything. You're not referencing the floats or the.
All of it. So if you wish, I mean, there are obviously, we know about the vaccine, the anti-vaccine float, and I think we've all heard that. And I think the city is, if you haven't heard, explained very much so that as a city sponsor parade, no different than your business applying for a permit, anyone who applies for a permit to us, we cannot screen for content and such without other specific standards that we just simply don't do and cannot have in most regards in a First Amendment issue. Difference, you know, big parades, Boston, right? New York, that's not actually the city doing the parade. There's another group doing the parade. And so that may come about. I don't know. I've heard community groups are trying to organize, which is fine. That's a council decision if the city is not running the parade or if we are. But that's part of the after action report, you know, that we want to put together, all those things. So just shoot them to me so I can make sure we include them, because obviously we run right through the heart of your district with the parade route. I think we're ready for the councilwoman, huh?
Sure. I don't know that I have more to share beyond what Mara shared, but happy to answer any questions if there's anything going on that you're concerned about. But knowing you have a couple of experts here, you may not have questions for me, but it's good to see you all again.
Oh, next month. we are back in person, but still with the opportunity to Zoom in. So the conference room has been set up that we can do Zoom and yet still meet in person, and as well the council chambers. So I know Eric will be the one coordinating with you, but just FYI, they have the possibility that you can still Zoom in if it works best for your schedule. But I know a lot of people like meeting in person, and so the in-person option is back.
Great. Great.
All right, well, our next meeting is August.
Hey, can I give a shout out
Go ahead.
to Digital Strike?
Oh,
Did you
yeah.
guys see them on the TV? He's got scholarships he's given for the Google initiative. That's so cool.
Great.
Thank you guys very much. We're
Congratulations.
Yeah.
trying to give certificates and laptops to children in need or high school graduates in need. And we are struggling a little bit to get to enough of them. So if anyone wouldn't mind sharing it with anyone they know, groups they know, we're trying to talk to the Urban League. We've been everywhere, and it's really hard to give something like this away. It's amazingly hard.
What? That's weird.
Yeah. So we also had other groups come in that wanted to join us. So if we get more kids, we can buy more laptops, get more degree programs, do everything. So we're desperate to get to more kids. So if anyone could share LinkedIn posts or Facebook posts or anything, or just let people know, it's on our website. You can hit at the top of the homepage and get right to the form with all the information. So any children that you know, high school graduates that can't afford, can't make it, you know, just didn't have the grades to get what they wanted, but they're really driven. We just want to help them out.
Great. Perfect. Thank you.
That website, Chris, is the Digital Strike website?
Yep. It's on the homepage on the top. There's a click through to the actual URL.
Okay.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
All right, our next meeting is August 19th. And if there's nothing further, could I get a motion to adjourn?
I'll motion.
And second,
Steele second.
all those in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Anybody opposed?
Aye.
All right. Thanks, everyone. We'll see you on the 19th.
Thank you.
Bye.
Thank you.
Thank
Good evening,
you.
everybody.
Thanks, bye.